Forget everything you think you know about finding yourself. Today, we're doing the exact opposite. We're going on a journey to lose the self you thought you knew to finally meet the stranger that's been living behind your eyes this whole time. So let's begin the descent.
Yeah, let that just sit with you for a second. Every thought, every memory, every feeling you think makes you you, what if it belongs to someone else? Or something else? That's the core idea, the foundational dread we're diving into.
And look, this isn't just some philosophical game. This is the central mystery we're going to try and unravel. It's a mystery about who you really are. And the haunted house we're exploring, well, it's the architecture of your own mind.
Okay, so every journey like this needs a guide, right? And ours is a trickster, a messenger. Picture him, this fleet-footed herald, just weeding for you at the very edge of your consciousness. He's standing right there at the border between the safe, cozy fire of your ego and the wild, dark forest of everything you don't know about yourself. So he brings you messages from deep inside. But here's the really clever part. The words he uses, they're perfectly clear. Simple, even. The trick isn't in the words themselves. It's in what they do when they hit those parts of you that you keep buried. The confusion is all in the echo.
Yeah, the meaning is the trap. He's this kind of divine trickster, you know? He uses everything. Weird coincidences, slips of the tongue, those bizarre moments of déjà vu, anything to make your conscious mind trip up. And it's right there, in that moment you stumble, that the stuff you've pushed down starts to bubble up.
And this is the perfect way to understand the core idea here, the uncanny. You know that feeling, right? That skin-crawling, chilling moment when something super familiar, your own face in the mirror, the sound of your own voice, suddenly feels completely alien. That's his main tool. He uses it to show you that the walls of your reality, they're not nearly as solid as you think. So we follow this trickster down, deeper into this, well, it's like a subterranean structure, a psychological maze. We're not talking about a real place, of course. It's a labyrinth of mirrors deep inside your own mind. And it's here that your identity, your sense of you, starts to come apart at the seams. It literally starts to unzip its own skin. And deep in this labyrinth, you realize you're not alone. You get a visitor. The text calls this thing the honest guest, which sounds nice, but trust me, its arrival is anything but comforting. Because this guest, it's your uncanny double. It's the face staring back at you from every single one of those mirrors. So think about this contrast. On one hand, you got the self you show everyone, the version of you that's put together, stable, makes sense. But then there's this honest guest, your double. And it's the terrifying proof that the first version, it's just a costume. The double is the hidden monster, the collection of every single thing you refuse to admit about yourself. This whole encounter forces you into a confrontation, you see. That mask you wear, it's not exactly a lie. It's more like a reflection. It's a map that points directly to the real architect of who you are, that stranger pulling the strings from the hidden, repressed hallways of your own mind. And that's when this big, philosophical dread becomes a very, very personal question. I mean, if the person you believe yourself to be is just a mask, then who or what is the thing that's actually looking out through your eyes at this very moment? Okay, so we're going even deeper now. And as we do, we look up. High above this whole mental maze, there's a sun. But this thing gives off zero warmth. It's the hollow sun, and it radiates this cold, dark light. It's basically the symbol of an absolute, unfeeling law, like a psychic scalpel, just peeling back every single layer of your ego. And under its chilling glare, nothing is sacred. Every memory you cherish, every achievement that you think defines you, it all gets exposed for what it really is, just a petrified, borrowed piece of a life that was never really yours in the first place. The key thing to get here is how this gaze just completely dismantles your personal story. It shows you the machinery humming underneath the ghost, all the mechanical, repetitive cycles your soul is just stuck in. It proves you're nothing more than a guest in the house of your own body. And this light, it's so powerful, it even shuts up that nagging inner voice, you know, the superego, and it replaces it with the deafening roar of the void. All right, now we've hit bottom. We're on the floor of this underground cathedral. This is the deepest we can go. And down here, what are called the tiers of the id,
All that raw, primal energy from your most basic instincts, they just gather in these endless pools. This is it. This is the place where everything you've ever pushed down comes back to meet you. And down here, a kind of ritual happens. First, those tears of the id pool together. That's the unconscious leaking out. Then, this primal energy, described as a tarantula within, starts to vibrate. That vibration is what wakes up the death drive, this deep, unconscious pull everything has towards just stopping, towards stillness. And right then, that drive becomes real. And after that communion, your shadow, that uncanny double, isn't just a visitor anymore. It becomes a permanent part of you. So what this communion really does is it reveals a core truth of this whole way of thinking. It introduces this concept of thanatos, or the death drive. It's this idea that there's a pull in all life, dragging it back towards a final, silent, inorganic state. Basically, all the hustle and bustle of your life, it's just a brief, noisy interruption in a silence that is eternal. So the journey has to end, right? But here's the thing. You don't escape this place. You emerge from it. And getting out isn't some triumphant victory. It's a scarring. You are permanently marked by what you've gone through down there. You're out, but you're now anchored to that abyss forever. You carry the cold and the damp of that underground world with you. Not just as a memory, but like deep in your bones, in your marrow. You've basically become a walking, talking symbol of the uncanny. And so you go back. You return to the world you knew, to the familiar streets, the comfortable rooms, the life you left behind. That place you used to call home. It's now a haunted house. Because the thief, that whole journey we just took, it stole something from you. It stole your sense of belonging. That feeling of being truly at home is gone. The world hasn't changed, but you have. And so for you, everything is different. And that leaves us with one final lingering question. After everything, after meeting the ghost in your own machine, after you've accepted that shadow is now your permanent companion, are you ever really, truly alone again? Or is the haunting just getting started?